Hi everyone, we're back from 12th Man from the Stands with another video. Today we're covering match week 10, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace, the biggest talking point of the week. And so let's begin. Let's begin with the biggest talking point from the week. Xhaka doing what he did.
Good evening. I would like to start with that.
Good evening. Good evening. Very much. Very much confused.
He's got a very funny accent though. No
With all
discrimination.
respect,
in that.
he's Spanish. He's trying his best to learn English through Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, you should focus a lot on his team and football.
100%. As in where they're headed to, and where his career at Arsenal is heading to. I think he should definitely focus on that. But Abhi, the recent incident that happened with Xhaka. In fact, I'll take a step back. And when Arsenal started off the game, they started off the game fairly decently. And
They were 2-0 up.
Exactly, they were 2-0 up.
10 minutes.
Exactly, and I couldn't at least personally tell that they're going to be losing that match. Actually, not losing, but tying that match.
They drew the match.
With allowing Crystal Palace to catch up with them 2-2. Although Crystal Palace, again, when we talk about Crystal Palace does have that tendency of giving upsets as well. But I wasn't really expecting that to happen.
Especially at the Emirates, because I got my prediction wrong. This is what we're talking about, because when they lost to Sheffield, I wasn't surprised. That is what I said in the last video.
I guess Queen Anne's dead there.
Game week 10, game week 9, sorry, and I thought they would win. Obviously, when you're leading 2-0, just under 10 minutes, should at least have control of the game.
100%.
But they lost control of the match. A few controversies regarding the VAR, and the captain lost control of his own temper.
I think another two sides of it to it that I'd rather want to shed some light into is that I really do feel that Emery has probably started that journey of losing his dressing room to himself as well. Because if you look at a Crystal Palace catching up, that was a mere case of losing focus, and obviously a lackluster performance as well at the end. Which was obviously and then building up to what happened with Xhaka, at a time when you're drawing a match with a team like Crystal Palace, that too at home, and you don't have that urgency to probably get off the field when you're being substituted out. That you allow the other players on your team or your teammates to actually go ahead and try to score another goal. That's obviously gonna happen, and that
having
shows.
said that, having said that, you normally don't see a lot of captains being subbed off, especially you don't really have a figure at Arsenal at the moment.
This
who's
was
really-
a tactical switch. Now Xhaka is
Exactly.
not the type of player who's going to get you goals. He has the ability to shoot long range, but
100%.
he's not doing so. Even a month ago, Paul Mohsin on Sky Sports questioned his attitude as a captain. Is he even fit enough to be a captain? Emery, we've been critical of him, me and Daiyaan. On humor basis, we say he's a Europa League manager. Even at PSG, if you remember, in a league match or a Champions League, I remember there was an issue between Cavani and Neymar, who they fought over who wanted to take a penalty, and he lost control of that dressing room. And PSG realized he's not the player to control egos. Now Arsenal, they're not winning titles recently, but still they're a big club. They have a big, huge reputation.
They've got a heritage behind them.
They have a heritage behind the Wenger. In his past 20 odd years, he's instilled a club legacy, a club culture, and he wanted the next manager to come in and ensure that the manager carries on from where Wenger wanted to lead the club. They have a big stadium, they have fans, they have everything, but Emery has not addressed the weaknesses at Arsenal. The weakness was the defense.
But with Emery there, I do agree with that. Why? Because he's sort of losing the dressing room and he's losing the plot at Arsenal. But at the same time, the reaction by Xhaka and the way he reacted to the fans was uncalled for. From a player who's playing in the Premier League, who's playing at the top level, and he's obviously a captain. At the end of the day, there's so much that a manager can instill into a player. Because at the end of the day, you need to build that temperament. Your fans are always gonna say things to you. A very good example of that, to be very frank, would be Paul Pogba at Manchester United. He's always cast over. People call him names there, but I haven't ever seen somebody giving such a reaction from such a club.
Even Jordan Henderson criticized by Liverpool fans. Even if we talk about the Spurs match, I'm sure the fans wanted him to be subbed off and Oxlade-Chamberlain coming in his place. But
you did as well.
Yeah, I did as well, obviously. But see, he kept on playing, and this is what you expect from the captain. It has happened at Arsenal before as well. William Gallas has been the captain. He's had issues, scuffles with the fans and the manager. Fabregas, not directly with the fans, but Arsenal captains have really had major issues. Fabregas just became the captain after a season or two, wanted to leave the club. Van Persie, wanted to leave the club, and then Koscielny just
but I
before
really
the start of
think
the
that
season.
I really think that Van Persie's case was a bit different. How
It
so?
was, but
Because
the main point is there's something wrong. Whenever the Arsenal player is appointed as an Arsenal captain, something is not right there. Now this needs to be addressed by the board, or the management needs to check into this. What is wrong in the club? Because they have a young side, but even apart from his leadership skills, Unai Emery, he's lost control of the dressing room. He's lost control of his tactics as well. I mean, again, you've spent money this season on attack, and that attack is not doing anything. Both goals came from, I think, set pieces, from the defenders. So even if it's 2-2, there's nothing. And Xhaka was being booed, was cheered for being subbed in the start because he wasn't giving anything on the pitch.
But honestly speaking, at the beginning of what I recall of the incident, Xhaka, when he was being subbed off, the fans were were reacting pretty decently with him. Yes, there are always positives and negatives to fans and their reactions. But when they saw that Xhaka was not showing that urgency as a captain to come off the field, that's when they started reacting to it.
You'll get reactions from the fans and abuses, even if you're in the stadium, the opposing fans, they can be menacing. So you have to tolerate all these things.
If you look at it internationally as well, other matches as well, Zlatan had a similar incident as well.
See,
but the fans,
you're trained. See, as a professional, you're trained. You're going to get this, whether it's your home fans or the opposition. They will boo for you. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo, fine example. I think he's been booed, cheered at
100%,
as well.
100%.
And the guy is mentally strong. He'll prove you wrong. Just boo him. Even after that 2006 World Cup incident, I think even there are always few people from your own fan section who will always just try to jeer you off.
And honestly speaking, that's one of those issues with contemporary football that I've grown to really disagree with, because when you talk about character doesn't only mean that you exhibit character in playing a game or coming back into a game or winning a game, but character is when you're down and you're down under. You need to develop that temperament to probably tolerate your fans, and you need to understand that your club is being run by your fans and not only by you.
Arsenal has the highest ticket prices. I think £90 or 120 quids for a match. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's massive. And
agreed.
The fans, you're everything because of the fans.
100%.
If there's no fans, they're the one who buy your shirt, chant your names, and follow you on social media. You're like an idol to them. And the kids coming in the stadium, you should,
especially as a captain.
Especially a captain, and imagine you're playing there, and the captain's having issues with the fans, and the captain is abusing back, taking off his shirt, throwing his armband, and your morale is going to go down. How do you expect your own team to come back and get a third goal to?
You're going to act like a little kid there.
We're very mature, and Emery needs to really, and he hasn't even apologized to him yet.
Yeah.
But the interesting bit is Emery, the way Emery's handled the situation, I I don't really agree to that either. But I guess we're going to touch upon that later on. In one of our
The only
upcoming
thing he
videos as
said
well.
was that he was wrong. That's it.
But at the end of the day, when you're looking at such an intense reaction from your fans, and you've seen one of your players, possibly having a nightmare with his own reactions, I would expect a manager to probably euphemize the whole issue, and probably act as a buffer to things.
Well, I think
But he himself is having issues, so I don't
having
think
issues with the result because the
so
result
I don't
didn't
think
go.
he is in a position to do that.
The result didn't go his way either. So now
Yeah.
even his position is being questioned.
It's been questioned for a long while now, and the questions are getting louder and
By
louder.
now, and Emery is being hated because again we discussed last time lacking creativity. He continues to bench Ozil out, and Ozil is getting 300,000, 350,000 pounds a week for doing nothing. It's only training, having a laugh. He's posting that he's enjoying, just training on social media.
But just a minute ago, or in our previous video, you said the same thing about Christian Eriksen. So he's actually doing the same thing that we're.
See, Christian Eriksen wants to leave the club. Ozil wants to play, but Emery is not playing him.
Yes, exactly. As in, if you look at
Two different
Ozil as a player and you look at Christian Eriksen as a player, you look at their ages first. Ozil's come from possibly the epitome of football, which was Real Madrid, and he's come into Arsenal, and he is pretty old player right now. So you can't expect a player like Ozil to probably go have that thing in him to probably join another team and start off his career there from scratch. But when you're looking at Eriksen is more of that player who's looking at his prime being wasted without any trophies, and he's doing that out of mere hunger, to probably venture off into a better team, into a bigger team, and probably win some trophies there and win some silverware there. So there's definitely a difference between the two players here. I feel Ozil the issue with Arsenal's always been, even at Wenger's time actually. I see a major issue with the ownership of the club as well.
Yeah, there is. I mean, when Wenger was there, he wasn't getting any funds for
Exactly.
transfers, and now when they've got funds, like I said, Emery hasn't addressed the weakness. You have a good strike force, but David Luiz again was a panic buy. Your captain
Agreed.
left, Koscielny left the club all of a sudden during the pre-season, said I don't want to play for the club, and he's not gone to any bigger club. He's gone to some, I remember, a mid-table club in France. So he's not playing for a big club, and all of a sudden wanted to leave, and Emery has not addressed those weaknesses, and so now it's all headaches for Emery. On one, you don't want, that's the last thing you want a captain to have, issues with the fans, and
I think keeping this as a discussion more than giving out a verdict would be a better a part that we play. Why? Because these are interesting times, very testing times for Arsenal and for Emery at the same time. And I feel as we progress further into the season, we're going to be in a better position to probably give out a verdict as well over this. But
But
from
overall,
where
if
we
you
stand,
see, since the post-Vieira era, it hasn't been easy for Arsenal.
Okay, so I guess that's about it about Arsenal and Paris. Although we couldn't really touch about the game, but
that was the main talking point.
All right. So thank you for tuning in, and do remember to like and subscribe to our video, and also tell us talk to us in the comments. Tell us what you want to watch. Tell us where we were wrong, and tell us what you want to see from us. And
what you want to see, and especially all the Arsenal fans out there, what do you want to talk about? Give us your opinions. What do you think about the match? And your views on the entire situation.
For Arsenal fans, honestly speaking, I understand you guys. I'm a United fan. Both the clubs are in a transitionary phase, and these are testing times. So we need to stay strong, but at the end of the day, we need to support our team, and it's always onwards and upwards from there. So let's see what time brings with it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.